Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is another video about schools application. So I made a list here, very short videos about some things. The first video I did about my step-by-step application to my school. There were some things I omitted or some things I didn't know or I didn't use, but I saw somewhere, and then what that person said makes so much sense in your school application. So I'm going to list them for you guys. So I'm going to title this video like what your favorite YouTubers forget to tell you about schools application. So the first thing is the regular requirements, which is your resume, your references from your lecturers or your supervisor during your national service or NYSC, and then grades, good grades. These are the basic things you need to apply for school. But one thing, when I was watching that video, one thing is about your resume, that's your CV. Most people add irrelevant information like your age, your marital status. All those are irrelevant. What does the school need your marital status for? They don't need that. They don't need your hobbies like listening to music, playing football. Those are unnecessary information. For an academic CV, what you should put is your project topic. You can add that to your resume because you're applying to a school. If it's work, that's different. But for school, you can include your project topic. If you have any publications, you can include them. If you have any skill, let's say IT skill, something that is educational, you can add it to your resume. Your awards, you can add your awards. You can add your if you volunteered for any organization, be it anything like environmental, anything like here, if they see someone that has a lot of experience volunteering, like they like people like that because they always encourage us to involve ourselves in volunteering. And even in some schools, if you volunteer, you get some credits in your courses. So if you volunteer for any program or any event or any organization, you should include that in your resume. So I'm going to sum it up for the resume. You should take off your marital status, your age, your hobby like playing football and all of that is unnecessary. You can add your educational research, your awards, your publications, your skills, and then volunteerism. Okay. And then we need your reference letter from your lecturers. And then good grades. Those are the basic things to apply to a school. And before you start, this is where the main point is. Before you start an application, you should check the school's acceptance rate. This is very important. I didn't know this. I just got to learn. It makes sense. Because sometimes you check a school and then the acceptance rate is like 40%. That means if 100 people apply to that school, they are taking just 40. All the 60, they are not taking them. So why would you apply to a school that has an acceptance rate of 40%? Unless your application is so strong, the chances of you getting it is very low. So you should check the school's acceptance rate. You check with those 70%, 80%, those are the schools that you know that if they are picking 100 applications, at least 80 of us are going to get it. So you have a higher chance. And also, you should check the ratio of international students the school picks. This is also very, very important. The ratio of international students. There are some schools that, because international students pay much tuition than the citizens and then the green card holders or permanent resident holders, sometimes they don't pick most of you because they can't fund you. Because if a citizen is paying 2,000 per term, an international student is paying 8,000 per term. So if they take more of you, they have to, fund more of you. So it's better you check all these things. Check the number of international students the school picks. Check the acceptance rate. And then we have something called deadline, like priority deadline. Sometimes when you go to a department that you want to apply to, you will see that they will write there that if you want like funding or you want some stipends, you should apply by this date. That's one thing people forget to check, which I am included. So if you're applying to a school, check the deadline for funding. It is very, very, very important. If you don't check the deadline for funding, you apply, you might get in and you are not getting any funding. If you don't have the money, how are you going to prove to the visa agents or the officers that you can fund yourself? So check the deadline. We have that. Sometimes most schools have deadline for international students as well. Like you can see a deadline, and it's for those in Canada, those in wherever, the citizens of that country. They have their deadlines, and then mostly international students have earlier deadline than regular people that pay cheaper fees, like the citizens. So you should check the deadline first, and then after you check the deadline for the application, you have to check the deadline for funding. That one will be actually earlier than the regular deadline for international students. So if you apply after the funding deadline, you're not going to get funding unless you pray that someone skips the school or someone decides, one international student decides not to come. Then you are going to get the funding. So always check these things. I'm going to go over all of them again. So your resume, your reference, the good grades, sometimes check the cutoff point. Most cutoff points, with the grades, the cutoff point is mostly your last 2 terms. Sometimes they don't really consider your first year and second year results. Most schools would say you must get at least 80% in your last 2 years of school. Last 2 years of school. That is your third and fourth year. So that you should read that. It doesn't mean all. So sometimes your aggregate can be, your GPA or CWA can be like 55, which is second class lower in some schools. But if you combine your third year and your fourth year results, that might put you in second class upper. If you should check that, like your third year and fourth year results, if you combine it might be second class upper, but your whole 4 years is 50 some, which is lower. But the school is considering your fourth and your third year GPA or CWA. So take note of that. Some schools just consider your third year and fourth year. And I talked about acceptance rate. Very important. Check the school acceptance rate. Don't just apply to anywhere. Unless the application fee then is free. That one you can just apply. If you don't get it, you didn't lose any money. But if you're going to pay application fee for the school, then you should check the acceptance rate before you do it. Then check if you need funding. If you want the school to fund you, you should check the deadline for funding. Okay, I'm hoping I've answered everything I've talked about everything I want to talk about. Yes, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Hope you enjoy this. I like sitting to talk to you guys. Yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.